on the Hawkeyes Sports Network from Learfield. This is the Fight for Iowa Citrus Bowl report. Our Citrus Bowl coverage is brought to you by Athletico Physical Therapy, proud partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Big Ten Conference. Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and Iowa Corn Promotion Board. You may think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Shields, we're right there with you in Des Moines, Sioux City, Iowa City, and Cedar Falls. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. This is the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Greetings from Orlando, Florida, where Iowa football has been preparing for the Tennessee Volunteers and the New Year's Day Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, Big Ten versus the SEC. Welcome to the Fight for Iowa podcast. I'm Gary Dolphin. Belated Christmas salutations and Happy New Year, everybody. When we come back to Celebration High School here in Central Florida, we'll speak with some of the principals of the Iowa Hawkeyes tasked with scoring on and stopping the 8-4 Tennessee Volunteers. This is the Fight for Iowa podcast.
More of the Fight for Iowa podcast after this.
When it comes to your health, you need the full picture. That means the right diagnosis and the right treatment right from the start. I'm Aaron Bose, pediatric neurologist with University of Iowa Healthcare. Here, we're working together every day to advance medicine so you can get the best care. With more research, more clinical trials, and more treatment options than anywhere else in the state, the University of Iowa Healthcare is changing medicine and changing lives. Learn more at uihc.org.
Something big is happening. Introducing Hy-Vee Perks. Now, Hy-Vee Fuel Saver is Hy-Vee Perks. Get the same great benefits like fuel savings. Plus, save even more on hundreds of products store-wide with Hy-Vee Perks prices like Tide, H Perks price $9.97, and bananas, H Perks price 39 cents a pound. Make the switch or sign up for Hy-Vee Perks and start saving today. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
Hey, Hawkeyes fans, it's time to gear up for the season, so let's do it right. Jerseys, hats, hoodies, and more. Shields has everything you need to show your Iowa pride. Visit our fan shop online or in-store for the biggest and best brands in the game. You'll find the right gear to level up your team spirit with all the essentials for your pregame parking lot party. Shields, proud partner of Iowa athletics and football fans everywhere.
Are aches, pains, or injuries keeping you on the sidelines? At Athletico, our movement experts are here to help you turn your setbacks into comebacks and create a personalized game plan for your recovery. With no prescription or referral needed, Athletico Physical Therapy is where your comeback story begins. Get started today by scheduling a free assessment at athletico.com. Proud partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/fan of corn.
Now back to the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Welcome back to our Citrus Bowl special on our Fight for Iowa podcast. I'm Gary Dolphin. Iowa offensive lineman Rusty Feth played for current Hawkeye line coach George Barnett at Miami, Ohio, before joining the Hawkeyes out of the transfer portal last spring. At 6'3", 310 pounds, Feth has found a home at guard and has been key to Iowa's inside run success, led by LeShawn Williams.
The change of scenery is always nice, just being somewhere different, and it's just all new, so that brings a new little adventure with it, but it's still the same game week, so we're preparing to win. So
that inside run game has been effective, but it's also very important in this game against Tennessee. You guys guard to guard have been terrific the second half of the season.
Yeah, well, thank you. We worked for it. It's all credit to Coach Barnett and the way that these guys work. We all, know that we have to be on our best for the offense to run smoothly, and I think we've done a pretty good job with that, but there's always still room to get better. And we're even coming down to the last week, Coach Barnett and Coach Ferentz, the number one goal is to get better, which is why we've gotten better. So it's always cool.
Got to be fun blocking for LeSean, watching him mature as well, right? That'll fire any lineman up.
Yeah, it's always fun to block for guys that you enjoy being around and being on a team with. So yeah, just helping the guys out,
Rusty, last thing for you, they've got some big old Blutos in that defensive line, 3 of them with 5.5 sacks. What's the key on getting rid of those interior guys, moving them one way or the other?
Yeah, I mean, the number one thing is fundamentals, doing Iowa fundamentals, and being sound, and then being physical and putting your pad into someone. That's the mindset we take in every game, regardless who we're playing. Yeah, but yeah, there are some big dudes that are really good too. So
Feth has been part of the solution to LeSean Williams in the running game, averaging 4.5 yards per carry. A high school star at Byron, Illinois, Sean Considine knew very little about Iowa and the Hawkeye football program. He walked on in 2001, earned a scholarship, and left an all-Big Ten performing free safety in 2005, having played in 4 bowl games, including the 2004 Outback Bowl. The reward for an Iowa team that, like the present-day Hawkeyes, won 10 and lost 3. Considine's Hawkeyes ripped apart the Florida Gators with 27 unanswered points for a 37-17 triumph. Game most valuable player, tailback Fred Russell, finished with 204 all-purpose yards and a touchdown. Nate Kading kicked 3 field goals, and Considine led the defense with 9 tackles. For Considine, that 2003 team left great memories.
I think it's a typical Iowa Hawkeye football team. I mean, we were tough, physical, and smart, and that's just the way it was. And I think we overcame some obstacles during that season, kind of like this group is this year. And when you play for Norm and Phil, I mean, you are going to be physical on defense. You're going to run to the football. What those guys do is not rocket science, but at the same time, they really do a phenomenal job at preparing you for what Florida was going to do. Their top plays we took away, and we're going to make them go to something else. And I just remember that game being a game where there was a lot of hoopla about the Big Ten versus SEC and Chris Leak and all the great players that Florida has and the great recruits, and here we come into town and pretty much whooped them.
Hey, your MVPs that season were Roberts, Gallery, and Sanders. They could play anywhere.
Yeah, you can. It's funny when you go down to those bowl games. I mean, when Florida Gators walk into the hotel or walk into one of the conference rooms, and then the Iowa Hawkeyes follow them in, we just don't look the same. It kind of reminds me of when high school football, we're 3A football. Every now and then we'll play a team that's 5 or 6A. You can just see the difference, and it is what it is. But at the same time, our best players are darn good, and so are theirs. But Robert Gallery, Bob Sanders, Chad Greenway. I mean, you can go right down the list of the guys that we played in that football game, and our best were as good as their best. And at the end of the day, we were a better team. And I think in these bowl games, you start finding out which teams are the best, and especially nowadays with kids opting out and all that type of stuff. I mean, all that comes into play, but when you play Iowa football, you want to win. And, I think we have a lot of kids that they don't want to give up an opportunity to compete one last time for the Hawkeyes. And, you see in our kids out there taking pride in what they're doing. And, I really respect that, and I'm proud to see that.
You see that a lot in Phil Parker's defenses today. As you think back to that defense, that unbelievable defense you had in 2003, and look at today's Phil Parker defense, he uses a lot of Norm's traits. What impresses you most about these present-day Hawkeyes?
They're doing a lot of the same stuff. I mean, I think Phil does do a little bit more blitzing than Norm did. I was out in the spring with the rest of the Byron staff. We sat in on spring ball for 3 days, and I asked Phil to kind of get me caught back up to speed in a lot of his quarter half stuff and rules and alignment and all that type of stuff. The things that Phil Parker knows about the game of football, like he even has a hard time explaining it. He doesn't even quite understand all the stuff he knows. And his ability to teach what he knows is second to none. One of the greatest coaches, one of the greatest teachers I've ever been around. just a phenomenal guy at preparation, really pushes his players to be highly prepared, and then they are very sound in what they do. The other team might know that exactly what coverage he's going to be in, but his guys are so good at executing it that it doesn't matter.
Sean, you were also a great special teams player, and when you watch Torrey Taylor give that defense the field position he does with that big old right toe of his, that must send a chill down your spine.
Yeah, back especially when I played, and even in the NFL, special teams was still a big part of the game. A third of the, every coach would say if you're a special team starter, you're a starter. That's changed a little bit, especially at the NFL level, but not at the University of Iowa. The only thing that I watched that I don't really understand, I never played in one of those spread punt formations. That's foreign to me that we didn't do that when I played. Nobody did that in the NFL. I know Coach Woods is doing that now, and it's definitely working. So, but he is an impressive player. He's a game changer. I mean, he's, he might as well be Tom Brady because that's how good he is, and that's how much he's affecting the football game with what he's doing with his leg.
The 2003 Hawkeyes finished the season ranked 8th. Iowa went 38-12 during Considine's career. Sean was taken with the first pick in the 4th round in 2005's NFL draft by the Philadelphia Eagles. He played 8 seasons and won a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens in 2012. Present-day All-Big Ten safety Quinn Schulte reminds one a lot of Sean Considine. Considine had 157 career tackles. Schulte, he too a former walk-on, has 136 stops. He's all academic, Dean's List, and pre-med major. Schulte, after the Citrus Bowl, has a decision to make. Does he return for a 6th year?
I don't feel any pressure. Coaches have been real transparent with me, and I can ask them any questions. But really, I'll probably sit down with my parents at some point too. Been talking to them a lot and make a decision. I mean, it's good for the Hawkeye program, to get Jay back. Obviously, one of the best talents in the nation at linebacker. So, well, if I were to come back, it'd be nice to have Jay back there. Yeah. So, I mean, any chance you get to play with guys like that, it's certainly special. So.
Schulte has 3 career interceptions, 10 pass breakups. His brother is former Hawkeye Bryce Schulte, and his dad, Dwayne, is a Hall of Fame coach from Cedar Rapids Xavier, where he mentored defensive lineman Ethan Herkett as well. That's it for our opening day Fight for Iowa broadcast from the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. Thanks again to safety Quinn Schulte, guard Rusty Feth, and former Hawkeye star Sean Considine. Now, over the next few days, you'll hear from the likes of tight end Addison Ostrenga, wide receiver Caleb Brown, defensive end Deontay Craig, and former Hawkeye great quarterback Chuck Long, and others. This has been the Fight for Iowa podcast, courtesy of Iowa Corn, UIHC, Athletico, and Shields. I'm Gary Dolphin. Go Hawks.
Join us for our Hawk Talk Bowl preview show, Swarming to the Citrus, live from the pub at the Point in Orlando on Sunday from 1 to 2:30 Central Time. And Gary Dolphin and Ed Podolak bring you the Citrus Bowl. Our pregame coverage starts at 10 a.m. on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Until next time, on Iowa, and go Hawks! The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.